Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, sorry I'm so late. I was just looking at, well, I was busy planning the cards and having so much fun with this layout. I really lost track of time. So I apologize for coming on just a little bit late for tonight's Make It Monday live event. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. And we'll take just a minute or two to introduce myself here. I am Carol Garrison of Carol's Creative Escape. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and have been with them for almost 11 years now. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining in. My goal is to simply spread joy one card at a time, and that's what I'm working on. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining. And tonight I have like the best of both worlds for me. I have a card that uses designer series paper, and it also is a fun fold. So let's go ahead and get started on this card. And yeah, I'm just going to jump right in and start the card here tonight. Let me get my phone flipped around here just a second. You'll have a chance to see part of my messy desk maybe. All right, and I'm going to make sure I'm live here on the right page. Yep, there I am. All right. I'd like to say it's been a crazy week, but it's only Monday, so I don't think I can really use that excuse, can I? I just lost track of time. I truly was having fun with this layout. I was very excited when I saw it, and I wanted to show it to you as a masculine card, a kind of feminine birthday card, and then also making a Christmas card out of it. So without further ado, let me jump in and show you what the cards are going to look like. This is the card that we're going to make tonight. Here's my masculine version using the Gone Fishing suite of products. Oops. Got something on that. Kitties were playing on my desk today. I'll have to clean that up with my eraser. It is a like a single layer base card. So the whole card doesn't open up. We've just got this little flap that has a surprise on the inside. And then on the back side, I just added a piece of cardstock as well so that you could write your note. And here's one that I made using, this is the designer series paper that comes as the great big package of paper. And now I don't know where mine ended up. Oh, it's right here. It's that delightfully eclectic designer series paper. And you get like double the amount. My camera is really crooked. I got to see if I can straighten it. You kind of get double the amount. Oh, that was the wrong way, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll see if that works. Normally I try to ignore that kind of stuff, but it's way crooked tonight. I don't think I can. Anyhow, so it's got just all sorts of different paper, and then it's using the cute ladybug stamp and punch. And on the inside it says, "Hope your day is a happy one." This stamp is a new one. It'll be available for you in September in that new mini catalog. So I really like that and wanted to kind of show that off. So it's sort of an unexpected surprise on the inside. Like I said, a fun fold, uses designer series paper. What more could a girl ask for, right? And I also wanted to show what it would look like using different shapes. So we've got the square, we've got this. I did on my card, I was trying to use another set of dies and it was just way too big for the card. You could go down a size even on these two circles or the squares and show off more of the designer paper if you wanted to do that. That is always an option. But tonight, I'm going to go back and use that Beary Christmas designer series paper that I introduced you to last week and make yet another Christmas card. Because again, in addition to using designer series paper, fun folds, I'm determined to get Christmas cards out this year too. So I'm going to try to be making one of those. I'm going to try to make one of those every week as well. And I should have enough then by the time Christmas rolls around. Actually, I'll probably have to make a couple every week, but yeah, I'll have enough then when Christmas rolls around. So let me show you what I've got here and I'll give you measurements. I'm starting on this one. I'm going to use a card base of Very Vanilla and it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I've got a layer of designer series paper that measures 4 and 5 1/4. And then I have another piece of cardstock. This time I'm using Real Red. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and it is scored at 3 1/4. And actually, it's probably scored at 2 if you're going this way. And then I've got a circle out of Real Red, and then 2 very vanilla circles. And then I've got some more Designer Series paper. This one measures 1 3/4 by 4, and this measures 3 by 4. So let's go ahead and get started. I've also taken out of this paper one of these cute little seals. I liked it because I kind of thought it matched my paper a little bit with the sweater he's wearing. So he's going to be part of the focal point on my card front. So I just need to do a little bit of fussy cutting, which I can't say fussy cutting is my favorite thing to do, but I truly don't mind it when it allows me to get the item that I want for my cards. And this Designer Series paper, remember, has the coordinating bear punch, but not coordinating dies with it. So with all these cute little critters that come included on that paper, we're going to have to do just a little bit of fussy cutting. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was gorgeous here in Minnesota. After a week of some pretty hot temps, we had just a gorgeous weekend temperature-wise, and the humidity was gone. It's our Minnesota State Fair time right now, so Thursday the attendance really was down a little bit because it was dangerously hot to be outside in that kind of environment. But for those that went, I think they had a good time because there weren't a lot of crowds. Since then, we've had pretty much record or nearly record-setting days in terms of attendance at the State Fair. Beautiful weekend. Today was real nice, but it sounds like it's going to start to get warm again, so who knows what will happen here. So I am taking a stamp from the Brightest Glow stamp set. This is one from last year that was just full of sentiments, and I'm using the Brightest Glow because I think it kind of fits the character of that little seal. That's why I've chosen that. And I'm just going to stamp that in Real Red ink. And I'm going to put that kind of upper center. Ooh, I don't like how that inked up at all. I think that's my red ink. Let's see if I can get that. That's better. I think it's just my ink the first time I stamped it. I haven't used Real Red for a while. All right, let's try this again. There we go with that. I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. And now I just need to come up with something that I can put on the inside. And what I had planned, I wanted to use this Merry Christmas stamp. It's way too big for my stamped image or my circle space here. And so don't be alarmed if the cat suddenly jumps on my chair or up on my table. She's been climbing my chair behind me. Fortunately, hasn't dug her claws into my back yet, but that could happen. She seems to be full of energy. Hoping your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends. That kind of did that too. I may have to... This is one of my original ink pads, which means it's about 11 years old. It may be time to update it. That is a little bit better. That can happen with the pads, especially if you've had them for a while. And I think on this one, I've probably re-inked it with kind of the newer ink versus the older ink. And so that could be causing part of my problems there. So I will probably be looking at updating that, but that is not the fault of the stamp pad. That would be a user caused issue that I will have to fix. Okay, so there gets that red out there so it can start drying. And now we're just going to start with the assembly process here. So I've got my base card layer, and you know, on these, both of these cards, I added a layer in the back, and I've been debating if I want to do that on this card, but I think to add a little bit of thickness and support, what I'm going to do is take just another piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to cut it down to, oh, you know what? I think it's already cut down to fit on the back of this. Not quite. Typically what I try to do is always have extra basic white and Very Vanilla cardstock pieces to put on the inside of my cards. And I can show you real quick just how I store them so that you can see, because I did just do some mask cutting yesterday. I just have an old stamp case, one of the big ones, and I just pre-cut a whole bunch of those pieces, and I store them in this. That way I can always see what I've got in those two colors. I don't do any other pieces that way, just with the two of these. And so that's just, oh, look at that. Okay, the reason this happened is I was so close to the edge that it didn't really trim very well. So you get to see lots of user problems, but the quick fix to that, usually it cuts really well when you're cutting off a quarter or even a full 1/8 of an inch. That is not what I was doing on this card. I was kind of just taking off a little bit. But rather than saying, oh, I need to throw this whole piece of paper away now, I can reuse this cardstock. I just took another 1/4 inch off each side, which gives me a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece. And I'll just center it on there. It's still going to accomplish that thickness that I'm looking for without, you know, the sturdiness, the support, without having to go cut another piece of paper. And then one of the things I'm doing is trying to remember to put my copyright on there. So I just am going to use on this one a plain stamp that says copyright Stampin' Up. And the reason for that is I don't want to take up any of the writing space or really add a whole lot more to the back of this card. And in fact, I'm going to stamp this right on the very bottom of my basic white cardstock, and not even on that piece that I just cut. And if I did this right, look at that. Some things are working today at least. All right, I'm going to set that way aside so I don't stick it in there. So we'll let that dry. We're going to add some adhesive. The back of this paper, and we're just going to line it up so it's fairly centered. It may be off just a little bit because of how I stamped that at the bottom, but I think we can get it pretty close. And then, making sure I have my Stampin' Up piece right, we will add some adhesive. Isn't that moose cute? Or that reindeer? I wanted to use that, but it was just too big for my card front. I'm sure there'll be another card that will fit that one. So again, I'm going to add this layer to the top, and looking to kind of make sure my opposite corners are even, because that gives me a pretty good shot at having an even spacing there. And then we need to add our designer series paper, and I really had everything in front of me. There it is, my bone folder. And we're going to just burnish that edge real quick. We'll add some of our designer series, or our adhesive, to the designer series paper. I'm so flustered from starting late tonight. Deep breath, Carol, deep breath. Okay, there is that. I'll just add a little bit of adhesive to this side. And I actually found it was easier to kind of do it this way because for me, it just worked out better for lining this up and centering it. Okay, there we go. This is kind of a busy pattern card for me, but I'm going for it. And then I am going to add adhesive to the back of this, and I'm going to close it. And I just found this fun fold when I was going through Pinterest. I'm going to see if I can get the name of the person, because I do like to try to give credit, and I did not write it down when I first started here, but it is, her name is Glenda Calkins, and she's a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So that is who I'll give credit to for the fold, but the design here is something I created. All right, this is going to be my inside piece, and so I'm going to add adhesive to that. I actually found for lining up my outside shape, it was best to have this inside one in first. So we're going to do that. I'll put that down. And then I'm going to show you a trick because I struggled just a little bit tonight gluing too much of the circle. You obviously want to put adhesive on the back of the part that's going to stick to the card front, not the part that's going to show through. And I did it once on here, and then I made this, and I did it once on the square piece and had to start over for that too. So I am going to work very hard to get it right this time. And so again, I'll add adhesive. When I get stressed or flustered, I shouldn't say stressed because we don't get stressed making cards. When I get flustered because things didn't go quite as planned, I tend to press down really hard on stuff, and that's why you're seeing me have to constantly kind of get this tape going. If you actually just use a gentle pressure and that check mark, you are not going to have to do what I'm doing. It's just a fine touch, and for some reason tonight, I just got a little off kilter, and I'm finding I'm having to do just a little bit more of that than I would like. I was going to put some, there it is, Wink of Stella on my seal because I think the seal can sparkle just a little bit. We'll pop that seal up. And before I attach it to my card, I'm actually going to attach this circle. And the reason for that is it's just giving me a flat surface. So what I did that I found worked best is to just simply use my tape runner and add adhesive right to the card front. And I just kind of did 2 little strokes right next to each other on that. And then I could come through and center this on top. And your goal is to kind of center it on the card front, making sure that that circle in the back, it doesn't have to be stacked right on top, but just the layers so that it covers that circle. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I'm going to peel the dimensionals off of that and add it to the front. And now we've got a little seal who's covering up part of my greeting. There. All is merry and bright, and you've got that cute little seal. And I'm just going to add some sparkle to the sweater, because what's a seal without sparkle? There we go. And then I think I need just a little bit of bling on this card. So let's see what I can find in the way of pearls, or I don't think I want rhinestones. Oh, I know what I can do. So another new product that's in the catalog are these fun blooming pearls, they're called. I can use some of those gold ones on here, and I think that'll work real well. So I'll grab my Take Your Pick tool. These are kind of sparkly, almost iridescent-y, and there's gold and like a pretty peacock, a green. I think it's going to pick up the colors that are sort of around it. So we'll just add a couple of these and we're good. And I think that finishes the card off real nice. So we've got this one with the very vanilla and some room to write on the back. I think that back piece made a lot of difference when I feel the kind of the weight of it. And then I've got this cute little happy birthday card, more feminine looking, and then a more masculine looking birthday card. And as I look at this card, I think it too needs just a little bit of pop to it. So I'm going to put on some of these same pearls on this card. There. And that just finishes it up. It could almost be little bubbles that he swam through. That kind of finishes up that card for me too. Whew. All right, sorry for being just a little bit discombobulated tonight, but here are some fun little cards. Again, a super easy card to make. You'll get carried away with it just like I did. Basic measurements are 4 by 5.5 for the card base. The designer series layer of paper is 4 by 5.25. This layer measures 4.25 by 5.25, and you score it at 3.25, but this measurement right here is actually not going to be known right now because I can't find my, there's my ruler. Maybe there's my ruler. Okay. Yeah, if you scored at 2 inches, then that gives you your flap. I kind of like to go left to right. So 2 inches or 3.25, going to get you the same thing either way. This designer series layer of paper is 3 by 4. This one is 1 3/4 by 4. And then you can just add whatever size you want for your layer pieces, your focal point. And then on the back, a 4 by 5.25 piece of paper so that you can write a note to somebody. And if you don't want to write a note, don't put anything on the back, and you can just sign your name here in the circle or make a little note here. There's some options on that piece. Okay. Thank you everybody so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. Next Monday is Labor Day, but I will have a video. Not sure if it's going to be live or pre-recorded, but there will be a video here. So take care everyone. Enjoy this upcoming last weekend of the official summer season with us. And we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.